Good morning, beautiful souls, and greeting from the UK. We've got some snow. I know it's not to the level that it's probably snowing in Canada and everywhere else, but it's bitterly cold over here. But it's all good. Vibrationally, snow is very hibration, and it means that it's a good cleansing. It's a good cleansing for Mother Earth, and it's a good cleansing energetically and vibrationally. So I'm just checking in. Really looking forward to what March is going to bring us, because for a lot of us, February has been immense. And talking about February, looking into the twin flame community, and I very much participate and I coach, and I can also be quite a quiet observer of what's going on with everybody and everything and the energies. But what did I see in February? What I saw in February was unions coming into 3D. Actually seeing it really happen with some people I know. Sorry, that's my work phone. But the elation and the lights and the positivity that came from that was palpable, was beautiful. And I know of the couple of twins that have come back into 3D reunion. They had some very tough times a few months ago. And it just goes to show that even if you think you're coming near or you're on your way, there's still so much to do. And it means that if we're not in union in 3D, both twins are not ready. Both twins are it's preparation. Separation is preparation, and probably some of you are rolling your eyes. Yeah, but how long is this going to go on for? So experiencing, some twins coming into reunion, beautiful, and the vibration, and I think it lifted the hearts of some to see that this is happening, this is going to absolutely happen. And I think then, the other side of it, some, quite a lot of the community were massively triggered, huge purges, and my personal story, 4 weeks ago when the sort of shit hit the fan and I was a bit, what the fuck, what's going on, looking back 4 weeks ago to now, how much I have massively grown, how much I realized how much work there was still to do. And although a lot of us feel, well, we've done so much, and then we suddenly get an awakening or a truth that comes to us, and we're like, well, hang on, I thought I'd done everything. Why, are there still things happening? And it's simply because, as far as my truth is, in terms of the divine, we will not be shown these things to clear until we are ready, and at that point. So, this is I just believe, no matter what, for the rest of our lives, we're going to be clearing, we're going to be healing, and we're going to be doing exactly the same thing for other people. We're going to be transmuting, we're going to be supporting them, we're going to be helping them ascend, helping them shift, because we've gone through it, and something I said to one of my twin flames last night, it's all very well us saying to ourselves, God, we've done so much, we've come so far, and still, but the enormity of our mission, and some of us really don't know exactly what that is, but the enormity of our calling, what we agreed to come here to do, is huge. And for some of us, the heart, the proper, in the trenches, hard work, has only kind of started the last few months, or the last year, or the last 2 years. But if you look at what it takes to become a doctor, the years and years and years of training, the years and years, you can't even set up your own practice as a doctor unless you spend years in hospital. You've got to go through all these levels to become a doctor. And so, if you look at it like that, the enormity of our calling and what we're going to be doing for mankind and what we're already doing for mankind, and for Gaia and for Mother Earth, we're not going to be, fully ready and initiated and learned, within a couple of years. We've got to get there. And the difficulty is, for us, unlike, for someone that wants to become a doctor, everything's set up. All the exams, all the books, all the teachers. For us, we're learning with our eyes closed. We weren't really shown the way. We were guided, and then we'd reach out to people, to teach twin flame teachers, that seemed to know what they were talking about, to try and get some information so we could navigate our way through. And to begin with, we were probably very naive and just believing everything we heard, and then things would happen and we'd realize, oh my gosh, I don't resonate with what I'm hearing now. So we learned to become more discerning, to navigate our way through. But at the end of the day, there is nobody out there that is actually going to tell you whether your twin is your twin, or is a soulmate. Nobody. And this is why I think a lot of teachers now are refusing to do this anymore, because nobody can tell you. Only you can tell you. And if you're not sure, and you're questioning this, you got to soul search. You got to go deeper into yourself. But this journey, the reason why it is very, very challenging is because there is no textbook, there is no guides. It's a very big, massive, long journey. But actually, when you look at it, this journey is only to find our way back to ourselves, home. And home, it's like, people get into organized religion to find gods. Different boats for different people. But ultimately, whatever journey we are on, it's all about finding, slowly but surely, going far, reaching out, but finding our way home. And for me, what I've been through the sort of last 4 weeks, and it's been very, very triggering and painful, which I'll go into in a moment. But that whole experience, it's part of our journey. It's part of our journey to find our way back to ourselves, to get into reunion with ourselves. And when things happened to me 4 weeks ago that was extremely challenging, for me it was, I've spent the last 4 weeks soul searching. Why has this happened? What is my lesson this time? Because in the beginning I felt I was being a bit punished because, yes, I had this expectation that union was coming. In 3D, there was all the evidence that was showing me that union is coming, because physically I was seeing my twin. There was communication, and then all of a sudden, things took a different turn. There was a few surprises, and I think, as one of my twin friends said, I was being tested up the arse, because I had all that 3D confirmation, which I know some of you don't have, and still things took a different turn for me. So, that just goes to show me that this journey, one of the biggest parts of this journey is 100% detachment. I was very good at detaching. I'd started last summer. I went into zero space. I made a video about it. The freedom that you get from detaching. And actually, I proved it to myself. As soon as I did that, this huge polarity was created, and my twin came back. So we've kind of, for some of us, we've done this, but it's a mental detachment. because all the time we're mentally detaching is a freedom mentally, but it doesn't stop us being attached to that person, attached to the journey. And we're encouraged, you know, we got to live it, eat it, breathe it, we've got to manifest it, but all of that keeps us attached. And obviously what happened to me 4 weeks ago, everything went into a different direction. And I realized that what I had to do was shut down the outer world, the twin flame collective consciousness, and I had to just work on me and my soul team and work out what's going on here. You know, and not see this as punishment, you know, really kind of understand, you know, what was going on. And when my sort of anger and frustration that I was working on started to simmer down, and I started to look at what had happened to me from a different perspective, I realized, although I'd done the absolute right thing, and I stand by what I did, because what I did was validate myself and put myself first and say, do you know what? I love that person. That person is my twin. That being is the other half of me. But there's certain things I'm not actually agreeing with. I'm not going to tell you what you have to do. I'm not going to tell you that has to change. But at the moment, I'm going to have to stand away from that. I don't want any of that in my 3D world. And I lovingly handed my twin back. And yes, it came with disappointment and everything else. But where I got to at that point was, yeah, you know, it's possible that with that anger, that, you know, and that shock, I did go into ego, because your ego will kick in. It's like, it's not just your pain body that reminds you of everything that has gone wrong in your life. It is that your protector. It is there to help you survive. But I knew that I had gone into ego modes, but it actually gave me the strength to make the decisions that I made 4 weeks ago and to walk away. But all the time you're still angry and resentful, or angst, or you know, there's discontent, there's still an attachment with your twin. So it's all very well saying, you know, vocally and in 3D, no more, I don't want this anymore. That's only half the job. Really, that's only half the job. So I thought to myself, well, I'm not now sitting well with this, because, you know, I reckon I probably overreacted a little bit. I stand by what I've done, and I'm still walking away. But I don't like the angst and the discontent between myself and my twin, because I know he was massively shocked by my reaction. It was high emotion, and his reaction was high emotion, and it wasn't pleasant. But you know, that is what happens. And the beautiful thing about our twins and the twin flame journey, we will forgive each other everything, but it all had to happen for a reason. You know, I was even beating myself up. Why didn't I get on the phone and discuss this? Why did I cowardly send that message and remove him? You know, but actually, I'm glad it did happen that way, because if we'd have spoken on the phone, I would have been, oh yeah, well, you know, I understand. And we would have been back in that pattern again, where I was, you know, putting him first, the whole time. So it did all happen for a reason. But then I did reach out, and I did say, look, although I was very, very upset and I was very triggered, you know, reminding him of what had happened. So I wanted to reach out to him, not to actually say, you know, I'm sorry, it's all good, because I don't want to give that message that behavior or whatever had triggered me is okay anymore. What I basically explained was that, yeah, you know, I kind of overreacted, and I'm not sitting well with that. You know, I'm not sitting well with this discontent and this angst. And that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to clear down, and I wanted myself and my twin to start mending, so I could sleep better at night, because none of us are perfect. And I know, I've always known my role, and I've worked incredibly hard to stay strong and work on myself and everything else. And I did lose my shit 4 weeks ago, but that is not the person I have become. There is nothing wrong with losing your shit once in a while, but sometimes you need to then clear that up a little bit and clean your side of your street. And that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to clear away the discontent between myself and my twin, and that was it. And he came back to me at lightning speed, and he was like, it's okay, and thank you, and whatever was said. At that moment, that is when I knew I can 100% walk away from my twin in mind, body and soul. Not just mentally, in mind, body and soul. And that is exactly what I wanted to do, because for me, I'd gone as far in this journey with everything that had happened and what I was experiencing. Now I want this journey to be about new experiences, okay? So I wanted to close the door on what was, okay? I wanted to then open the door in this twin flame journey of what will be. This is what I was guided to do, and this is what became my truth. So that was it. There was no more angst with myself and my twin. I am now ready to walk away completely, completely, in all bodies, in all dimensions, and completely put everything in the hands of God, of the divine, of spirit. And let them bring to me what is for my highest good and for my twin's highest good. And that was amazing. And I went to bed, and I slept really well until about 2:30 in the morning. I woke up and I was grief-stricken. I was purging. I was in a lot of pain. And it was agony, and it spilled out into the following day, and I was having to navigate my work, my commitments, but this terrible heartbreak and this grief. And every time I thought about my twin, it was like this grief that, not that I'm never going to see him again, although that is possible. It was it was letting go of what was. Everything that we had done together, good or bad, it was letting go of that, and that hurts, and that was grief, and that was a grieving process. But it was frankly one of the worst purges I've ever experienced. And when I reached out to a couple of twins on different groups, suddenly there were so many divine feminines that said, "Oh my gosh, I'm going through the same thing. I'm going through exactly the same thing, this heartbreak and this grief." And I was also having dreams that, I was packing up this huge house because I'd become a widow. And I was going through the motions. There was all these divine feminines around me that were helping me pack up, and they kept checking on me and saying, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm all right," But I was a widow in this dream. And I dreamt about sacred cleaning, cleansing, water baths, and it was past lives. And I remember, helping this divine feminine have a baby. And as this baby was being born, this terrible pain was coming out of me. Because I lost my first baby in this life, but it made me realize that I'd lost a baby, or maybe more babies, in previous lives. So I was collapsing timelines, and I realized that this terrible grief I was getting last week was collapsing timelines in previous lives, where obviously I lost my twin. He died before me. So none of this would have happened if we didn't have angst 4 weeks ago. If I then didn't empower myself and decide to move forward and walk away from my twin, all of this that I've been through since, I wouldn't have gone through. So it was all divinely orchestrated. And it happened for a reason. But all I want to say to you guys and girls is there is a clear difference between mental detachment and full mind, body and soul detachment. And when that happens, you may go through something similar. You may go through past heartbreaks with your twin, not just in this lifetime, in previous. You may be going through grief, but all you're doing is collapsing what has happened in the past. Even if that was 4 weeks ago or last year, you are closing the door now of what was, in order to open the door of what will be. And it's so self-empowering, you know, it really, really is. These things will go wrong for a reason, even in your twin flame journey, even with your twin, because there's still stuff to clear. What is the most beautiful thing now is, now when I think about, you know, my twin, there is a chance I may never see him again. But there is every chance we will reunite and we will come back together. But whatever will be magnificent. We just needed to clear all the crap away. And it's not to say that while I was going through all this the last few weeks, it activated my twin to start really clearing down some nasty old wounds. Who knows? You know, I'm sure at some point we will have a conversation about it. But where I'm at this moment is free, is liberated, is self-empowered. And although I know that my twin loves me, if there was any kind of complacency in his mind with me, that no matter what, I would be there, no matter what behavior I would be there, that has been cleared, that has been collapsed. You know, now he knows that, you know, whatever, yes, I do love him unconditionally, but there are boundaries. And all I say is, what you allow continues. And really think about that. What you allow continues. If you allow just to have crumbs from your twin, then crumbs will continue. If you allow to be the mistress, you know, and it's a triangle, then you will remain a mistress. We've got to manifest how we want our union to be, how it looks, how it feels, to our truth, to our values. We've got to manifest that, okay? So that means we got to know exactly what we want from the rest of our lives. We got to manifest that, and we can only do that in separation. We can only do that by working through these triggers and these clearings. So that's all I wanted to say with you today, is there's a lot going on, and a lot of us are being forced to walk away, or it's our higher self forcing us to walk away. There is a clear difference, though, I must add. Walking away from your twin, which is what I have 100% done, does not mean I have severed from him. And if they are your true twin, it's impossible to sever anyway. All right? But where I'm at is, I have completely walked away in mind, body and soul. I haven't severed. I love him unconditionally. If he comes back into my life fully healed and ascended and at my vibration, and we both know that we can give each other love in 3D for the rest of our lives, helping other people in mission together, and that is for his highest good and that is for mine, then so be it. But if it also means there is something better to come round now, and you know that whole experience with our twin is setting us up for something even better, then so be it. I will for the will of God be done. I will for that. And I wish you a wonderful rest of your week. I hope you're keeping warm, and I'll be checking in soon. I love you all so much. Thank you for your ongoing support. It means so much, and I love you all. Take care. Bye.